There is no cloud. I've said the word 1,000 times. My photos live in the cloud. My documents sync to the cloud. I never once stopped to think about what that actually means, because I didn't need to, until my 3-year-old pointed at the sky and asked me to prove it. This happened on a Tuesday. My son looked up at a fluffy white shape, looked at my phone, looked back up, and asked where his birthday videos actually live. I opened my mouth to explain. Nothing came out. I have 20 years of experience in back-end engineering and distributed systems, and a toddler had just successfully brought down my entire operational runtime. I told him the truth, eventually. I said, "Look, there is no cloud. Not the way you mean it. What I actually mean by the cloud is somebody else's computer, sitting in a warehouse, thousands of miles away, plugged into a wall." He did not find this satisfying. Why would he? It sounds like a scam, but why do we call it a cloud anyway? Why not a warehouse or a very large, incredibly boring building full of humming machines? Because back in the day, early network engineers sketching out architecture on whiteboards needed a shape to represent everything out there that we don't want to draw right now. A cloud was perfect. Soft edges, no structure you had to account for, a shape that basically meant elsewhere, and therefore not my problem. The linguist George Lakoff wrote that this is how the human brain survives complexity. We take massive, terrifying abstractions we can't see, and we force them into physical shapes our bodies understand. Time is money. The mind is a container. The internet is a fluffy white thing floating over the house holding your data. Except my son doesn't have 30 years of metaphors stacked up yet. He only has the literal world. If his birthday videos aren't in that sky shape, the math doesn't check out. Here is what actually happens when I upload his video. My phone breaks the file into small packets of data and shoots them as light down a fiber optic cable, sometimes under the ocean, until they arrive at a building most people will never see. A data center. It is not romantic. It is loud, freezing cold, and mostly empty of humans, which, to be fair, is exactly how most back-end engineers prefer their workspaces. Inside are rows and rows of servers, stacked floor to ceiling. My son's birthday video sits on a hard drive in one of those rows, probably copied 3 more times across different buildings just in case a stray backhoe cuts a wire somewhere. When I press play, my phone sends a request at nearly the speed of light, asking one of those machines to send the file back. It takes less than a second. The whole system is designed around invisibility. The word cloud isn't hiding the truth out of deception. It's hiding it out of design. It's built so you never have to picture the brutal reality. Metal racks drawing enough power to heat a small neighborhood, needing constant cooling because heat is the enemy of machines thinking that fast. Some of these buildings are built in colder places on purpose, so the outside air can help with the cooling. None of that made it into the marketing material. A cloud doesn't need a cooling permit. A cloud doesn't draw power from a river, but a data center does. My son wasn't wrong to push back. The developmental psychologist Alison Gopnik found that children's constant why questions aren't just random curiosity. They are small, ruthless scientific experiments testing how the world works. Adults stop running these experiments, not because we learned the answers, but because we traded curiosity for convenience. I don't know how my car's transmission works. I don't really know what the microwave is doing to my burrito. I just know it comes out hot in the middle never, and molten at the edges always. I quietly agreed to stop asking so I could get on with my life. So I tried again with my son. I told him a story shaped like something he could hold. Not a cloud in the sky, but a house, very far away, full of silent machines that never sleep, holding onto his memories like a library holds onto books. He liked that better. I went to bed that night thinking about warehouses instead of clouds. Somewhere out there, actual physical hardware was holding onto my son's second birthday. His face covered in frosting, blowing out the candle on the second try. Not floating, weighty, sitting on a shelf in a cold room, humming quietly, waiting for me to press play. There is no cloud. There is only the softest possible name we could find for a massive pile of infrastructure we didn't want to explain. And honestly, as an engineer, I get it. If you like this video, hit like and subscribe so you don't miss the next one. See you in the next one. Cheers!